Everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa. If you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. I am just going to record this. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet. It might end up being bits and pieces of a video over a few days of bits of the stuff that I need to get done to do with the fruit and stuff. Apollo and Sonnet peeled and pieced out a couple of boxes of mangoes for me this morning. So all the cheeks and stuff are in the freezer. But what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to make a bit of a syrup type thing. I was actually thinking it'd be really nice with lemonade in the Ninja slushy. We have quite a few cordials on the shelf, so we don't really need any more cordial at the moment, but if I cook this down nice and thick, it would make a really nice slushy. I've also got a container from yesterday of all the peaches. So I've got all the peach pits, all the mango skins and pits, so I'm going to throw all of these in a pot with some water, and we're going to cook them down, and then we'll do what we do with them. But I just thought I'd record it as a start so that if I want to share with the stuff with it later. I still need to do some stuff with plums. I think I might make some plum jam, so I'll do that at some point as well. It strained all the mangoes and peaches for me. We've got a lot of pulp in here, and that's on purpose because we're going to turn into a syrup. So I'm now going to add sugar to this, and because I want it as a syrup to use with the creamy rather than a cordial, I'm going to add far more sugar than I would normally into our cordials, sort of the 1-to-1 that they're normally at. So I want to say that this has got 2-ish litres of liquid. I'm going to start off with about 1 kilo of sugar, and then I'm going to cook it and dissolve it and have a taste. And we want it overly sweet because, as I said, it's going to be part of the syrup. So I'm going to heat this, dissolve all the sugar, and then we'll assess. We're doing today, I've got plenty of other things I should be doing, but Sonnet really wants to dye my hair. So I bought this red toned dye. I bought 2 of them. So she wants to put that through my hair, which is fine. So I actually washed it last night, but it should be fine to do today. So we're going to do that. She's just finding an old towel to put on. And then after that, I will keep on moving through everything else. Darryl's gone into Toowoomba today because he has a physio appointment, so there's a few extra bits and pieces that I needed for some recipes for the kids to do next week, so we've got those going. But yeah, so we'll get this syrup sorted. As I said, this will be a bit of an all over. It'll be in between everything else, all the stuff that I'm doing that doesn't, make a standalone video. All right, hair has been done. It's drying now. We'll see what it looks like. And the syrup is done. I did add a little bit more sugar to it just to get it slightly overly sweet. And I'm just going to strain it once more when I put it into the jars because we don't want lumps to go through the slushy machine. So we'll do that shortly. But for the moment, the other thing that needs doing. So Sonnet and Apollo peeled all the bananas and froze them for me because they're all very ripe, but I got them to keep some out for me to make a couple of batches of banana bread. So that's what I'm going to do next, is do some banana bread to use up these, and then I'll probably do lunch. So for the moment, let's get this banana bread done. Now I have my recipe in my notes here, so let me pull it out. My banana bread's super forgiving, so I just make a really basic recipe. So we do 3 to 4 bananas thrown in. These are very ripe. She kept 8 out for me, so we'll do 4 in each one. each batch, and each batch makes 2 small loaves, generally speaking. I could probably make it in something individual, actually. I have the silicone trays that I use for like freezing fruit and stuff, and I never really used them for baking in. They are oven safe, but I've never used them because prior to now I used to do everything on the barbecue, and the silicone just didn't work on the barbecue. And I keep on forgetting that with the new oven, even though it's still gas, it's the way it's made, the silicone would work in it. So maybe I'll pull them out and we'll do some individual ones. All right, very ripe, gooey bananas, which will make for wonderful banana bread, but it's kind of disgusting. All right, so we got 4 bananas in there. So 75 grams of olive oil, a cup of sugar. Where did I put the sugar jar? We're just going to use the coconut sugar because I've got it open. A scant cup because those bananas are super ripe. And 2 eggs. Alrighty, 2 eggs in there. And we're going to blend that first. Alrighty, and then we're just going to add a teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, and we want about 225 grams of plain flour. That's a bit more than we needed. And making a second batch, so I'm just going to pull some out because we can put that in the next one. So about 225 grams of plain flour, and then I like some cinnamon in mine. And then we're just going to blend that up, and I'll go and grab some chocolate chips because, you know, can't have banana bread without chocolate chips apparently. All right. So we're just going to scrape it down. And add in a handful or 2 of chocolate chips. Handful and a bit, because that'll leave basically the same amount for the next batch as well. Stir that through. All right, and I'll grab my tins. So I'm going to give these silicone trays just a bit of a go in the oven. I'm going to put them on a baking tray. These ones don't have any metal framework. And we will just, I don't know how many it'll fill. It doesn't rise a whole lot because it's banana bread, like it's a bread, a quick bread. So let's just top these up a little bit. And if it all ends up being, you know, one big loaf, then that's life too. So give that one a go, and I've got a second one. Now I know there's this thing about not spraying silicone, mind you, too, because it loses its non-stickability, but I don't feel comfortable not spraying it, so we shall see. Alright, so what I might do is mix up the second batch, fill those other 3, and put the rest in a loaf pan. And we will see how it goes. So I'm just going to repeat the process. Alright, the gas went out in the oven halfway through the bake, but we have what appears to be baked banana bread, so we will see. The kids will try it soon. We also had lunch, had some toasted sandwiches on the Jaffler. I don't know if I mentioned, I bought cheap Jaffler from Kmart a while ago, and I said I'd let you know how it went. I don't know if I did. This works perfect for toasted sandwiches. It just it's really, really easy to use it with toasted sandwiches. So we use that for toasted sandwiches. Banana bread's done. Now I have to move on to the next thing. Alrighty, it is, it's Saturday, I think. And I've been filming bits and pieces all week of stuff that I've been doing. We did the mango peach puree that we're using for the ninja slushy, though I think I've filmed the slushy stuff separate to what I've been showing on this one. I think they'll end up 2 different videos, but the peach mango puree that worked fantastically with lemonade in the slushy, and I think I'm going to make some cocktails out of that potentially too. So that we got that done. We got the banana bread done. I don't know what else we've done over the span of this bits and pieces of footage over the last few days. I really need to do the last of the plums into plum jam. It's been 41 degrees today. It's just started that time of the month for me. Too much information, but it's relevant to the fact that it's horrible. The heat, I don't handle it very well, and then to add that on top, and it's just really, really gross. And it's frustrating because there's things that I want to get done. So it's late afternoon already. We've been doing other stuff all day. It's 3:30. Darryl's gone off to get water again because we are low on water in the main tank. The animals are low on water. The pigs are low on water. So he's just gone to get another load of water so that we can top up the pigs' tank as well as water the animals. And then he'll go again in the morning to grab another pod to fill up the rest of the animal tanks, and we'll probably put another one into the main tank too, though tomorrow is Sunday, so he won't be doing it tomorrow. Actually, he'll be doing it Monday probably, because he has church in 2 different locations tomorrow, so we'll see. So I'll film my Sunday chat like normal tomorrow when he's at church, but for today I don't know what I'm putting out tomorrow, so I was just thinking what else needs to be done that I can tack on the end of this one, see how long this one goes for. I don't know. We still have heaps of Christmas baking that I want to do, but it's so hot and the heat really impacts it. Like, I want to make Rocky Road, so the kids and I will do that at some point. That'll be fun. I want to do sugar cookies, but the idea of trying to get the dough right and then baked off, like we were going to do gingerbread men and shapes. We may end up not doing shaped stuff, because in this temperature, trying to refrigerate the dough and get it to bake into shapes and stuff, it may not work. It's just too hot. But there is there's a really cool sugar cookie recipe that I saw. I think it was on TikTok. I didn't see it on TikTok, but I saw Rach Loves Life, or Rach. There's a lady that I watch on YouTube that does, viral recipes on her videos and stuff. But she's very fun to watch. And she did a sprinkles sugar cookie one that she raved about. It had a cream cheese icing on top and things like that, and it sounds really fun. It's got like 3/4 of a cup of sprinkles in the dough, and so I bought sprinkles to do with that. So we will do those, and we will just see how we go. I want to do some sponge. We're going to do trifle eventually, but we'll do it as we can. It's just been too hot to do just about anything. We need the last 3 sheets up on the roof at the patio, but the sun has been so bad, and at 41 degrees that is just been impossible. So anyway, there is still half a box of plums sitting on the table that are getting very, very squishy that I'm going to turn into jam. I think I really like plum jam, but I like plum jam made into plum sauce as well. So if I've got the plum jam there, I can turn it into that as well. So I think I need to just quickly get them all pitted and into a pot and cooked down. Even if I don't get them turned into jam today, if I get them cooked, then they're not going to go any worse, are they? We still have some mangoes left, but they're actually lasting okay, and everyone's just eating them fresh. And there's drawers full of peaches and nectarines and stuff in the fridge that for the moment will hold because they're in the fridge, but not indefinitely. We may have to do something with them. And I still have cherries, actually. I was really surprised. I forgot that I bought a box of cherries, but they were so fresh that they're actually still firm all in that box. But we need to turn that into like a cherry compote or something, because the kids were talking about like cherry Pop-Tart type things. I also really want to make some fresh pasta to have with some of the prawns and that. I forget every year. I forget that in that lead up to Christmas, the week up to Christmas, it's so hot that it makes it really hard to get everything that I want to get done. But anyway, let's pull the plums out. We'll get them put in a pot for now, and I need to figure out what I'm doing for dinner too. These are all still good. None have gone bad, but they're very squishy. So they're not hugely pleasant to eat because they're warm too, but they're going to make a good jam because of that squishy factor. So all I'm going to do is pit them and put them in a pot. And we will just go from there. Now, because they're so squishy, they're actually really easy to pit too. Someone was saying in the comments when I was struggling with what was I pitting the other day that I was struggling with? Peaches, that needle nose pliers work really well. So I'll have to give that a go next time. But for the moment, these are so ripe that it's really easy to pull them out. So I'm just going to fill this pot with everything that's left here. Now, I didn't get any superb like clearance fruit deals this trip, and there's actually benefits to that. There's pros and cons. Part of the pros is that because all this stuff was full price but seasonally appropriate, so cheap because it was seasonally appropriate, it means that it was peak. So it's lasted better. Like these plums, if these were clearance plums, there's no way that after a week of the temperatures that we've been at that they would be any good. But I've only had to discard 3 out of this half box so far of ones that have been basically sitting on my table for a week. They're very overripe, very unpleasant for straight eating because they're warm to the touch. Like they're warmer than skin temperature, like than body temperature on the inside. But there's nothing wrong with them. I've found one that was a bit fermented, but these are perfect overripe plums, and if they had have already been overripe when I bought them, then I would have had to have done something with them straight away. But because these were optimal when I bought them, they have tolerated the temperatures for me to be able to do this. Now, of course, you buy not quite optimal fruit and you have to do something with it quickly, you can throw it in the freezer. But we have just about filled the freezer completely. We've got those few loaves of bread that came with the hamper, plus all the fruit that we have frozen by choice that has ended up, we do it flash freeze it on trays, and then we bag it up afterwards. So all of that fruit is in there as well as any meats and stuff that needed to be frozen. So both my freezers are pretty chock-a-block at the moment. There's plenty of room if I rearrange it, but in this temperature, pulling stuff out to rearrange it's not ideal either. So anyway, I just thought I'd say, you know, there is some benefits. The fruit and veg this month was more expensive than normal. It was about $650. I normally only spend about $400, but I got things like cherries and lychees and peaches and nectarines and plums and, you know, all those sorts of things. No superb deals though, but because of that, everything is lasting quite well. So there is benefits to buying stuff peak rather than clearance. So about halfway through these plums, I'm just gonna keep on going. All right, I've ended up with about 2.2 kilos of plums here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to get it to break down a little bit first, and then I'm just going to add sugar and lemon juice and cook it to the point where I hope it sets up. I would normally use like Pomona's pectin or something with a low sugar jam and things like that to just guarantee setting, but I cannot find any of my calcium powder. Yet another thing that I can't find at the moment. So it's not going to work. So I'm going to just cook it down, add some lemon juice and some sugar, and we will get what we get. Again, if it doesn't set up into a pure jam, I can use it for plum sauces and things like that, and it still will be on my shelf. So that's the plan. So we're just going to get this turned on, cook down. All right, so we've got 2.2 kilos of plums that have been cooked down a fair bit here. We're going to put about half that in sugar, so about 1.1 in sugar. I would use about half of this sugar if I was using Pomona's, which is why I tend to use Pomona's, but it's life. And we're going to put about 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice in. And that should help it all set up. And then we're going to just cook it until it's at the right consistency. I will probably immersion blend this because maybe not, it's pretty soft. But we will cook it for probably 15-20 minutes until that sugar's dissolved and it starts to thicken up. Alright, I pulled a cold metal out of the freezer to test the jam, and it seems to be mostly set, so it's got a nice good solid streak that's holding its shape there, so I'm just going to jar it up. I've got 4 of the Aldi jam jars. I reckon I probably need another one at least. I'll just have to find it. And we're just going to fill this up, and like the apricot, if it doesn't set up, it's fine. I will use it in other things, or if I really need it set up, I will heat it with some cornstarch or something. If I need it for, you know, a pie or a jam of some sort inside something or whatever. But at least it's getting it on the shelf for being able to be used for something else. Can you see if you can find me another one of these jam jars? Yeah, I got 8 jars out of that. One's a little heavy on the headspace, but that's fine. We'll just use that one first. Bit of white vinegar, some paper towel. Just going to clean the rims and the threads on these ones. In my plum splattered kitchen at the moment. I should have used a funnel, would have made this a lot neater. And these jars use 82mm lids, which is partly why I really like them. So give them a wipe down. Place them on. Because we're using lug lids, these need to be on with whole hand tightness, unlike your ball mason where your rings are only fingertip tight. You need to crank these on down. And then I'm just going to process them in the steam canner. So 15 minutes for my altitude in the steam canner, and we have 8 jars of plum jam. The jars are hot, so we need to get the water in the canner hot before we add the jars so we don't have any problems with thermal shock. And then we're just going to do the normal. So we're going for the dark green on the dial for my altitude, and then when it hits the dark green, 15 minutes, and that will be done. And then I'm going to sort dinner out. I'm going to do really simple dinner tonight. I'm going to do fish, chips, and salad. 8 fit, which is good, and then we'll get going. Alrighty, and this is dinner. So I've served the kids already. They have theirs on their table. A big bowl of chips, and their pieces of chicken, and pieces of fish, and the salad for them to serve themselves. A jar of mayo that I just freshly made, and I am just serving myself some. Darryl's already got his without chips, so we've got just a mixed, it's a kale salad with a bit of mayo, some fish and some chips for easy dinner tonight. All right, so that's done. There's some leftovers there for the kids, or Darryl, or whoever wants it. The plum jam has done its 15 minutes as well, so we'll get that out to sit out for the night. All done. It looks really good. I don't know how thick it's set up, but I'm not, as I said, I'm not really fussed. We will find a use for it, even if it's a bit of a thin jam. It was just about getting those plums used and on the shelf rather than in the freezer or to go bad. So it's a really pretty colour, regardless of whether it's set up. My water's a little, needs some softening, but really pretty colour. So that's done. So I'm going to sign off there, I think. I don't know what's on this video, so I'm going to put it all together and hopefully there's enough to make it into a video. But yeah, I'm going to sign off, go and eat my dinner, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.